I am Ramil Joe, a third year student of Pagadian Capital College. So today, I'm going to share my insights and learnings about the topic, specifically the question document examination. To begin with, let me explain first what is a document. So a document is something that contains information or that is used as a means of proof that can be either handwritten or typewritten. So in everyday life, we tend to hear this kind of term, especially for me as a student or for those people who are in line with work of office works. So in addition to that, I've learned that there are proper ways of packing, preservation, and transportation of documents. So documents are commonly in the form of paper. So paper is a very sensitive material that should be treated carefully. So the things we need to do in order to treat it carefully is first, it should be handled. Second, it should be folded but not too much, because when fold is necessary, it should be folded along with the outlines. And to secure the document properly, it should be placed in an envelope, or it's either be brown envelope or transparent envelope. And on receipt, the document should be placed between the two sheets of plain white paper in a folder. Then lastly, the document should not be in contact with pencil, pen, or anything that could mark them, for the reason that in order to pass a clean document, it should be clean and presentable, so prevent it to be in contact with these said materials. So in line with our previous topics, we learned different examinations. So this time we're going to learn the question document examination. So the most important materials in document examination is the kind of paper, the pencil, or the writings. So the examination of the paper may be necessarily in order to know the age of the document, the presence of alterations, erasures, and other forms of forgery, as we all know that forgery is considered to be as one of the serious offense. And also, there are also problems encountered in the analysis of paper, such as the determination whether the two pieces of paper originated from the same source, the probable age of that paper, the composition of the paper. These are the commonly problems encountered in performing an examination of a document. So the examination and comparison of paper may be determined by the following. So number one, the age of the paper as compared with the age of known document. So this time, you're going to compare the retrieved document to the known document. So second, whether a paper is identical with or different from another paper whose history is known. Third, whether two sheets of paper at the same manufacturer were made at the same time. So in every document is made of paper, as we all know. So in every paper, there's a specific manufacturer who created that specific kind of paper. So you're going to determine or compare if they are both created by the same manufacturer. So in the examination of paper, there are four tests, namely the preliminary test, the physical test causing no perceptible change, the physical test causing perceptible change, and lastly the chemical test. So number one is the preliminary investigation that deals with the appearance of the documents. That is observed with the following. Number one is folds and creases. So folds, in Tagalog term, pagkatupi. Creases, or in Bisaya term, lukot or pagkalukot. Number two, odor. So odor for the reason that paper is a great absorbent. So there are several factors that causes the paper to have odor, especially with the direct contact of a foreign substance. So the third one is the impression caused by transmitted light gives indication of color, especially with the direct contact of sunlight. You can clearly see or notice the color of the given document or paper. Translucency or translucent, where tampering is made. So tampering is causing something changes to its original form. So change in tint, which indicates substitution of sheets of paper, watermarks, and wire marks. So the fourth one is the presence of discoloration in daylight and under the ultraviolet light. So this is the new added feature, especially in identifying whether the document is legit or not. So for example of this is our current bill, note, or ating pera ngayon. So, under the influence or with the use of UV light, you can clearly see the added feature by our Bangko Sentral of Filipinas if it's legit or not. Same as other documents that is added with new feature. So, watermark, if present, is one of the most important thing in comparison of a paper. So, wire marks are produced on paper by flexible wire soldered surface on the roll that carries the watermark. Number 2 is the physical test causing no perceptible change. So, what is perceptible? So, perceptible is something that is perceived by our senses. So, a test applied on paper without perceptible changing or altering the original appearance of the document. So, number 1 is the measurement of length and width. So, to indicate that if they are originated from the same manufacturer, the two pieces should be found the same. They have the same length and width. So, number 2, measurement of thickness. So, in every type of document, there is a type of thickness to a given paper or a specific paper. Number 3 is the measurement of weight. So, there are document or paper that differs from weight because for the reason that there are document that is made of manipis na paper, and there are also paper that is made of makapal paper. So, number 4 is the color of the paper. So, it's closely related to its brightness. So, whether it is vibrant through the direct sunlight or through light. So, observation of color is influenced by texture, gloss, finish, type of illumination, and the element of human error. So, texture, as we all know, whether it is rough or smooth. Gloss, like for example, how shiny it is, determined by visual observation in a good daylight. So, can easily determine if it's gloss, if it's direct contact with the sunlight. So, opacity, the quality of paper does not allow light to pass through, which prevents dark objects from being seen through paper. So, opacity is the clearness of the paper or the document. Second is the microscopic examination or inspection. So, for possible presence of dirt, foreign particles, imperfections, wire marks, or certain unusual fibers. This may be deciding factors in determining whether or not the same manufacturer made two pieces of paper. So, number 3 is the physical examination causing perceptible change. So, the second one is the without causing or without perceptible change. So, the third test is the physical examination causing a perceptible change. So, this is done only if sufficient samples are available. If prior authorization from the court is required, this test can be done for. So, number 1 is bursting strength or pop test. The apparent pressure necessary to bores a hole in a sheet when properly inserted in a suitable instrument. The second one is the folding endurance test. It is obtained on an instrument that registers the number of alternate folds. So, specifically, this is used to determine how many folds that a paper can take. 2 break 8, or in Tagalog, how many folds ang kailangan upang ang isang papel ay mapunit or masira. So, the third one is the accelerated aging test. So, these are some methods of aging document. So, this is a test that is direct contact with a given substance. Like for example, soaking in coffee solution, soaking in tea solution, exposure to charcoal, ironing or in Tagalog pagplansa. The fifth one, heating in an oven, The sixth one is the exposure through UV light. So the fourth one is the absorption test. So may be made to determine either the rate of absorption or the total absorption of the paper. So this test is conducted with the use of other substance, like for example an ink or a water and a strip of paper. So this used to determine the absorption capacity of a paper through the given substance. So because there are paper that are in contact with these two substances, such as the water and the ink, does not easily absorb the given substance. And there are also paper or document that in direct contact with these two substances, which is the water and the ink, absorb. So this test is going to determine how the given paper or document absorb the given substance. So the last test, which is the fourth one, is the chemical test. So the chemical test, the test determines the fiber composition, the loading material, and the sizing material of that is used in the paper. So number one is the fiber composition. So the fiber composition, the examination is purely microscopic, and it determines the materials being used in the creation of paper. So the second one is the sizing material. The sizing materials may be tested through the two. So number one is the gelatin. So gelatin is extracted by boiling the paper through the water. So the solution is tested with dilutanic solution with a positive result of yellow precipitated. And the second one is the rosin. So this is extracted by heating the paper on a water bath with a 95% solution. So the positive result of this is reddish violet color that quickly changes to red brown. So the third one is starch, that is diluted in iodine solution on the paper. So blue color is produced if the starch is present. So number 4, or the fourth one, is casein. So it can be detected by addition of millions reagent on the paper. So pink color appears if casein is present. So my insights about this topic is that I'm amazed that even a single sheet of paper can lead in solving a particular investigation or a case. So I've learned many things, specifically such as the age of the ink, the age of the paper, the composition of the paper, how can we know if the paper is being tampered or not, how can we identify whether the paper is legit or not. So nowadays, crimes about forgery, falsification of the documents starts to emerge. So the good thing is that we have this kind of examination to identify or to solve this, whether it is legit or not. So I'm looking forward to learn more about this topic.